oil-producing nation has added one more discovery in the Orange block, taking the total discoveries now to 18. And President Granger launches the APNU-AFC Coalition's elections campaign. Stay with us as we take you through major stories covered from December 28, 2019 to January 3, 2020. General and regional elections will be held on March 2, and as the time counts down, His Excellency David Granger on Friday launched the APNU-AFC Coalition's elections campaign.
Taking the Durham Park stage to thunderous applause, His Excellency President David Granger officially launched the Partnership for National Unity and the Line Should Change General and Regional Elections campaign on the evening of January 3.
We are embarking on a new era, a new decade of development. I am a seafarer man, you know. You didn't know that. I don't think in terms of days or weeks or months or years. I think in terms of a whole decade. Because we've been here for a long time. What we've done over the last 5 years, we'll do for the next 5 and the next 5.
The president described Guyana as not only the most beautiful country in the Caribbean hemisphere, but now one with an abundance of oil and a trajectory of development. The more than 18,000 assembled roared their approval when he mentioned his embattled opposing candidates' unanswered questions about his qualifications.
Don't let the gifts fall into the hands of the fakes and the frauds. You know, you're dealing with honest people here. Nobody in my cabinet ever went to the University of Iflat. Nobody ever went to the University of Cumberland.
Emphasizing that his administration has a plan to develop and advance Guyana, President Granger assured that Guyanese were in good hands with the coalition. Referencing the recently declared National Petroleum Day on December 20th, the head of state proclaimed,
Guyanese will never be poor again. That oil wealth belongs to you. And this government will make sure that you benefit from that oil wealth. There are a lot of greedy people. Don't worry with them. I am unbothered. We are going to make sure that that oil wealth goes to the people who need it most. The people like you, people from region 1 to 10, ordinary people.
Reiterating that the APNU-AFC coalition government is a constitutional one, the president reminded of the developments wrought in salaries, allowances, pensions, housing, education, infrastructure, and public services.
I ask for your help over the next 60 days to make sure that all those in doubt are convinced that we are the best team to lead Guyana into the future. The best team to use this decade of development to develop the whole country. We have 10 years to do that. And I ask your support at the end of that 10-year period. Look at your children, look at your schools, look at your communities. And you'll see, yes, I made the right decision in supporting APNU-AFC.
Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
In oil news, Tullow Oil PLC says the results from the Caparia 1 well indicate positive implications for both the Kanuku and Orange blocks.
Tullow Oil PLC announced on Thursday morning that the Carapa 1 exploration well drilled on the Kanuku license encountered approximately 4 meters of net oil pay based on preliminary interpretation. It noted that while net pay is lower than pre-drilled forecasts, the 27-degree API oil supports the significant potential of the Cretaceous play on both the Kanuku and adjacent Oranduke license. The well was drilled by the Valaris EXL-2 jackup rig to a total depth of 3,290 meters in 68 meters of water, and the well will now be plugged and abandoned. Commenting on the results, Tullow's Chief Operating Officer Mark McFarlane said the Carapa 1 result is an important exploration outcome with positive implications for both the Kanuku and Orundu blocks. While net pay and reservoir development at this location are below our pre-drill estimates, we are encouraged to find good quality oil, which proves the extension of the prolific Cretaceous play into our acreage. We will now integrate the results of the 3 exploration wells drilled in these adjacent licenses into our Guyana and Suriname geological and geophysical models before deciding the future work program. Repsol Exploración Guyana SA is the operator of the Kanuku block with a 37.5% stake. Tullow Guyana BV also holds a 37.5% stake, with Total E&P Guyana BV holding the remaining 25%. For InfoHub, Anara Khan.
President David Granger on Monday, December 30th, emphasized the need for all to work together as mayors and their deputies took their oaths of office at the Ministry of the Presidency.
The message from His Excellency President David Granger on the swearing-in of the newly elected mayors and deputy mayors was the need for collaboration.
The government of Guyana functions at 3 levels: national, regional, and local. All 3 levels must collaborate to ensure the efficient delivery of public services to every citizen everywhere in the country. All 3 levels must be competent in order to ensure good governance.
The head of state noted that the colonial 3-county system of Demerara, Berbice, and Essequibo initially depended on appointed district commissioners. This was replaced by a system of 10 administrative regions, which encompass democratically elected town councils, regional democratic councils, neighborhood democratic councils, and village councils.
Municipalities are essential elements of the local government system. Their role has been expanded beyond the mere provision of municipal services. They are now expected to become agents of change, drivers of development, and protectors of the environment, in collaboration with central government and the regional democratic councils.
President Granger added that towns are the principal terminals of trade and seats of public administration. He added that the coalition government is working to strengthen the role of capital towns in regional development through a regionalization policy. He advised that town councils revamp their administrative systems, enabling them to become engines of enterprise employment and economic development agents. The head of state urged that regardless of political affiliation, leaders must collaborate for the common good. Referencing the holding of constitutionally due local government elections, the president said this renewed local democracy as he reminded the elected officials of their roles. From the Ministry of the Presidency, Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
A historic Guyana-Suriname tourism accord was signed between the Ministry of Business, which has responsibility for tourism, and the Ministry of Trade, Tourism and Industry of the Republic of Suriname. Minister of Business, the Honorable Hemraj Rajkumar, signed on behalf of Guyana, while Minister of Trade, Tourism and Industry, His Excellency Stephen Tassang, signed on behalf of Suriname. The Guyana-Suriname Tourism Accord is a framework cooperation agreement that will reinforce efforts in both countries to increase tourism business between the 2 territories and enhance the growth of a sustainable tourism product that will attract larger numbers of visitors to Guyana and Suriname. The establishment of a Guyana-Suriname Tourism Cooperation Council is to be convened within 1 month of the signing. This council will oversee all actions arising from the accord and will comprise 3 representatives from each country, drawn from both the public and private sectors. Guyana is once again being featured on the international scene. This time, the country is being touted as one of the best destinations to visit in 2020.
The land of many waters was today featured on the United States NBC Today show as a top destination for 2020.
Guyana, you say, is a good spot to go overseas.
Guyana is a wonderful place to go. If you look on the map, you can see it's just in the northern part of South America.
Okay.
But I would encourage you to think of it really as a bonus Caribbean country, because culturally it's much more connected to places like Trinidad and Tobago. It has beautiful beaches, really diverse ethnic heritage, so brilliant Chinese food. So, and look at that that waterfall.
That's crazy.
Wow. One of the tallest single-drop waterfalls in the world. You've got beach and Amazon rainforest, lots of new direct flights from New York, way more accessible than
And how about the price point?
It's very affordable. Remember, all of these destinations we're suggesting, very affordable.
Yeah.
You could go there on a family vacation, and you're not going to spend more than $200 a night.
Since 2016, Guyana has racked up a number of awards in tourism. These include the world's #1 best ecotourism and a top 10 sustainable destination at ITB Berlin, the world's leading travel and trade show, first place at Welcome Back to Nature video at the Golden City Gate Awards, Best in Sustainable Tourism at the Latter Achievement Awards, Best in Destination Stewardship at the CTO's Sustainable Tourism Awards program, and the silver at Best of Adventure from International Travel and Tourism Awards at the World Travel Market in London. Reporting from the Botanical Gardens with videographer Tej Paul Brishmahan, Shaquille Bourne for InfoHub.
The Guyana Elections Commission has made available the revised list of electors for public scrutiny as it moves closer to the holding of general and regional elections.
The posting of the 661,378 names of eligible voters will be displayed for 21 days. GCOM's Public Relations Officer Yolanda Ward said that the RLE has been posted for scrutiny and for persons to make corrections to the information within the 21-day period. Where changes have to be made, persons shall visit registration offices in their respective areas with the pink slip from January 4 to inform and update accordingly. Citizens are also urged to check to ensure the transactions done during the 2019 registration exercise is correct. The final product, the PRO noted, will be the official list of electors. The RLE is just another step closer as the elections body makes way for the holding of general and regional elections on March 2 this year. Only last week, GCOM confirmed that it is on track for the polls. Preparatory works include continuous engagements with stakeholders and the utilization of technical advisors. Chief Elections Officer Keith Lowenfield had said that the Commission will also be moving towards the conduct of Nomination Day activities during the life of the RLE. Nomination Day is scheduled for January 10. Reporting for InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
Approximately 24,000 Guyanese gained access to potable water for the first time this year. This is one of the major accomplishments of the Guyana Water Incorporated for 2019.
This is a manifestation of the challenge thrown out to us by His Excellency in terms of addressing the inequities between the hinterland and the coast. And so we see, for a first-time access, how we have significantly improved and we will continue to improve.
That was Managing Director of GWI, Dr. Richard Van West Charles. He was speaking at GWI's annual year-end media conference hosted on Tuesday. According to the Managing Director, revenue collections in 2019 saw a massive increase compared to past years.
The revenue collection moved from 2012, which was at $3 billion, to 2019, which is at $5.3 billion, which is the highest from 2012 to 2019. Over 75% of our customer base are now receiving water 24 hours. When we started in 2015, there was a hodgepodge of 6 hours, 4 hours, 12 hours, 18 hours. But now our task, our mission, is to ensure that there is 24-hour supply across the country.
Elaborating on achievements, Dr. Van West Charles commended his staff for efforts in establishing 28 wells this year, a move, he says, created history in Guyana.
In 2016, there were 4 wells drilled. In 2017, 6 wells drilled. In 2018, 9 wells drilled. In 2019, 28 wells drilled. Never before in the history of this country has there been this type of experience in terms of drilling wells to supply water to our citizens. and I want to thank the staff for their hard work.
For InfoHub, I am Kelon Rover.
In the meantime, the water company says for 2019, it expended approximately $260 million to ensure that residents of the hinterland and riverine communities have access to potable water.
Managing Director of GWI, Dr. Richard Van West Charles, on Tuesday disclosed that this major investment is in keeping with President David Granger's vision of bridging the gap between the coastland and hinterland.
In Region 2, the expansion of Lima Sands transmission mains to Kapui, Mainstay, and Hilltop. In Region 1, we've drilled wells at Camwater, Whitewater, Barometer, and we upgraded the water supply system in Port Kaituma. 7, the upgrade of the Bartica water treatment plant. But Bartica will have an even better service by the end of January in 2020.
He said the Cato Secondary School in Region 8 is benefiting from a filtration system, while residents of Paramakatoy now have potable water supply.
We had made 4 attempts in Campbelltown to drill wells. The driller well failed until we got with a Brazilian contractor the logging equipment. We were drilling at the level of approximately 80 meters, but the logging equipment indicated we had to go to about 150 meters. And when we got to the 150 meters, bingo, we had water.
According to Dr. Van West Charles, Region 9 benefited from 60 new wells, with more than 5,000 residents gaining access to potable water for the first time.
In Aishalton, in Napi, in Parashara, in Aranaputa, in Shulinab, Merawau, Kaikumbe, Yupakari, Hiowa, Masara, Sand Creek, St. Ignatius, Lethem, Karasabai, Mokamoka.
New quality mini-labs have also been established for hinterland services, with retrofitting to be completed in the first quarter of 2020. GWI says it has numerous projects to accomplish this year. For InfoHub, I am Kelon Rover.
A contract was signed on Tuesday, December 31st, 2019 for the refurbishing of the old call center building in the mining town of Linden.
The contract has been awarded to M&P Investments Incorporated to the tune of $116 million. Upon completion, at least 150 seats will be made available initially, with a long-term goal of providing 300 jobs for Lindeners. This is according to the Ministry of Public Telecommunications Head of Industry and Innovations, Lance Hines.
We are hoping that we finish in April. Once we do that, the next step is to begin to engage either a local entity based in Linden or any other company interested in helping us run the call center and make sure that we get the employment that we're looking for. We really hope that a local company in Linden could take this on, but if that doesn't happen, the idea would be for a company to come in, co-manage the building with us.
He also noted that this is a launching pad as it fulfills a promise made by the government to re-establish the call center facility. CEO of M&P Investments has committed to having this aspect of the project completed in a timely manner.
What I must say is thank you to the Ministry of Telecommunication for having that confidence in M&P Investment to execute such a project. And our company will be dedicated for quality, to give you quality, and to give you this project within a timely manner.
Earlier in the year, Minister of Public Telecommunications, the Honorable Catherine Hughes, visited Linden, where she engaged youths on the possibilities of having this facility up and running in the town. For InfoHub, Delicia Haynes.
The amnesty period for minors has been extended to March 31, 2020 and applies to medium-scale property holders who are in arrears and whose properties have not been published as cancelled in the official gazette. Minister of Natural Resources, the Honorable Raphael Trotman, issued a directive to the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission to extend the final amnesty of payment rentals for the miners. However, the penalty accrued on these arrears will still attract a waiver of 50%. The issuance of this directive follows several requests from organizations representing the miners. The Minister of Natural Resources is encouraging all property holders to take advantage of the extension and make all outstanding payments. 70% of infrastructural upgrades under the $1.5 billion Adequate Housing and Urban Accessibility Program has been completed in Sofia.
The works include construction of 1,833 meters of asphalt concrete road, 1,827 meters of reinforced concrete drains, 2,132 meters of sidewalks, 82 culverts, and 804 meters in revetment works. Reginald Mullin, a president of the community for over 20 years, said he appreciates the transformation taking place.
When I came in here first, it was mud. Then they came and they do a little thing, but it didn't have no asphalt. And then they come and they give a quick thing. That was a couple of years ago, mostly about 10 years ago, and now they're trying to do something properly, which we appreciate. You understand, the drainage is being done properly, and I think they should do the same thing right the way around. Because when you put concrete, it holds the water more properly. With the mud now, it's silt up.
Resident and councillor for the area, Clayton Hines, said that while the program is in its first phase, residents are enjoying the benefits.
If we can just single out the roads that have been done are being done properly. And as a result of that, but you'll find people can move quicker to go to their place of business, quicker to go to the place of work. In the initial stages, people were unsure what approach the government would have taken in relation to their existence in this block. But from 2015 to now, there has been a pronounced level of improvement in not just only in the drainage facilities that are being addressed, as well as the roads.
Other works include the construction of 10 bridges, which are 80% completed, the installation of streetlights, construction of 2 playfields, construction of 100 core homes, and improvement to 300 households by providing 300 subsidies. The program is funded by the Inter-American Development Bank to the tune of $1.5 billion. The first phase will conclude in March 2020. Isaiah Braffett for InfoHub.
The Central Housing and Planning Authority has for 2019 exceeded its targets in the allocation and distribution of house lots. This is said to be a great accomplishment for the agency.
2019 has been a promising year for the Central Housing and Planning Authority. As of December 20th, more than 1,298 house lots were allocated in regions across Guyana. The target for that line item was set at 1,000. The agency also distributed some 2,063 land titles and transport, 563 more than what was targeted at the beginning of the year. Minister within the Ministry of Communities with Responsibility for Housing, Annette Ferguson, said the CHNPA is still carrying out its mandate of regionalization, regularization, and reorientation, particularly for the poor and working class.
We have to ensure that going forward, when we're allocating lands to those persons who are dire in need of lands. And I think we have started on that footing.
Come 2020, Minister Ferguson said that the CHNPA will be aggressively pursuing the reduction of the more than 60,000 applications in its database. CHNPA's Chief Executive Officer Leland Saul said his agency has been charged with providing housing solutions to all Guyanese, particularly those who are at the lower end of the social ladder.
We want to revisit those things to ensure that we address the needs of the small man. We cannot ignore the small man. There are many people in this country and you see it. You go to Georgetown, you walk around Georgetown in the night. We have citizens sleeping in the streets. Go in rural Guyana and you see how some people live. People should not be living like that. And therefore we have to address this problem.
The agency continues with its work program towards the end of the year. Out of the $4 billion allocated for this year, some $3 billion has been expended. For InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
As we count down to Guyana's Golden Jubilee Republic anniversary, here's Neola Damon with a special report on the history of Mashramani.
What started out as an effort to organize Guyana's once highly favored Independence Carnival turned into a national event celebrating the country's Republican status in 1970. Known as Republic Day or Mashramani, derived from an indigenous language meaning celebration after cooperative work, was organized and planned by the JSC's Republic Celebrations Committee. This festival, however, created quite a stir in its initial stages.
According to veteran broadcaster Ron Robinson, or Uncle Ron as he's fondly called.
There were two schools of thought. One was it was going to be a national celebration, festivities after work or what have you, celebration after hard work. But there was another school of thought that was actually against MASH in February on the 23rd because it was close to a certain person's birthday. And they felt that it was foisting on the Guyanese celebrating that birthday. Well, however, that was overcome, and Mashramani from day one was an amazingly cohesive event. There were Guyanese all over the place who accepted Mashramani.
Uncle Ron believes that the colorful event was integral in uniting the people.
What I remember vividly is that we would start at, say, 9 in the morning, and at 9 o'clock, the first masquerade band, because we always started with a masquerade band, they led the way. They would come in at 9 o'clock on the button. And by the time they came past the judges and they were going back out, the second band was coming in. And the same thing, there was a continuous flow. And I think it was because of two persons. One was Mr. Bunny Finance, who was a no-nonsense man. And what he said to all the masquerade, all the participants with their costumes and so on, he assigned them numbers, they pulled numbers, and he separated them. And if you were number 4, you came in at number 4. You could not come in at number 5 or 6. If that was the case, you were not judged.
Organizers chose the national park as the desired spot to host the Mashramani parade. This 3-day national event was made possible by JC's chairman, Jimmy Hamilton, Jim Blackman, Alan Gutam, among others. Neola Damon, InfoHub.
This has been InfoHub Recap, which looks at major stories carried from December 28, 2019 to January 3, 2020. Remember to subscribe to our website for more stories and follow us on our social media platforms. Also, do take some time to review the Diaspora Digest and other publications found on our website. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Goodbye.